a module I haven't mentioned before because it's dealing with some really touchy information. Now, when you're dealing with shamanism, you're dealing with plants, you're dealing with psychiatric drugs, you're dealing with drugs and alcohol, marijuana, all these sorts of things. When you're dealing with religion, you're dealing with exorcisms, you're dealing with all this sort of stuff. There's this whole other realm that we can call demons and entities. There's a very famous ufologist who said, a very hardcore ufologist, and that's his main thing, decades of research. And after decades of research, he said, I don't know if UFOs are real. Decades of research. All this evidence. He's the man. I can't remember his name. Anyway, he said, I don't know if UFOs are real. But I do know that UFO experiences are real.
Yeah.
Right? Very important. He knows that people are having this experience. He knows that he's had this experience, but he doesn't know if it's real. But people are having this experience. So, let's use this terminology and take it a bit further. I don't know if demons and entities are real, but I do know that people have demon and entity experiences. Okay? And this is why we're going to call this the construct of demons and entities. This is a construct. UFOs are also a construct. If you're involved with the construct, it's real. If you're not, it's not real. That's why you have people who believe in these things and people who don't. So, you can watch movies like The Exorcist. Has anyone seen The Exorcist? Interesting stuff. I've personally seen stuff in real life that's very similar to what you see in that film. More than once. However, I know that is just a construct or a density in reality that is optional. You can get involved in that construct and become really freaked out and paranoid and worried about this sort of thing, and disempowered and disenchanted and freaked out, and you just want to stay home and protect yourself and build walls around your house and, stuff white sage up your clothes and all that sort of thing, and just kind of want to work out all the ways to protect yourselves from this kind of realms. However, we're going to delve into this thing of harmonic resonance. Harmonic resonance is really cool. So, if you get a good vibe off someone, that means that they're harmonically tuned to you. You might have seen them across the road. Maybe you're really into something and they're really into something. Maybe you're really into South African breakdancing, and you see someone across the road, and you're like, man, I get a vibe off this chick, man, and she's like, oh hey, we're going to the South African breakdancing class. You'd be like, right on. And you get someone else across the street, someone else, you're like, oh, I get this vibe out of this dude. And it turns out he's really into Austrian death metal, and you're like, oh, I'm really into Austrian death metal. Let's hang out. Let's do this sort of thing, right? So yes, there's this sort of harmonic resonance, and comes where two things are tuned the same and they feed each other. You're into the same thing. Get two guitars, they're tuned the same. You pluck a string on the other one starts to vibrate. Two tuning forks, the same tuning fork. You hit one, it will make the other vibrate. They will feed each other. If they're tuned the same, it will go back and forth, and this is how you get feedback on the sound system or something like that. You pluck a guitar string and it will go through the sound system. You play an E and then the sound system goes E, and then it will make the whole guitar start vibrating, and it goes around and the whole thing goes wah, and it will like blow itself up. We've heard that with sound systems. Okay? So, if you're really into something really positive, like you're really into love, you're really into light, you're really into lotuses, or something like that, and you're hanging out with somebody who's into the same stuff, you're gonna feed each other, you're gonna be like, oh man, you're just great, and it goes around and around, okay, this sort of thing, this sort of energy. Either two guitars, they're gonna get each other vibing, or if you're both into the death metal, whatever, it goes around and around. So, now, there's this whole concept of what we could call lower astral entities. This is disembodied spirits, energies out there, things that aren't in human bodies, energies, okay? Now, if these sorts of energies, if something is going to feed off another person, okay, without their consent, this is black magic. This is a negative thing, okay? Now, if you're going to give each other love and light with consent, if you go, hey bro, do you want a gift of love and light? And you'd be like, oh yeah, I'd be like, here you go, I love you, you're great, awesome, tops. It's like a consent thing, and you're giving each other good vibes, okay? Good harmonic resonance through consent and clarity and a good transmission and love. No worries. That is not how these entities and these sorts of energies work. The same with people. Yeah? If someone wants you to feel guilty, and so we talked about the first workshop, they're going to try and guilt trip you, and you're going to feel compromised, you're going to feel guilty, that's going to make them feel good, and you're going to feel bad because they're taking energy from you through this kind of little game of entrapment. Now,
but you have to give consent on one level or another.
Usually subtle agreements of entrapment, without even knowing it. Yeah, but you're right. Now, if you live in a phase of existence where you're having a lot of negative emotions and negative realities and negative reactions and just general negativity, this whole concept of demons and entities, things are going to be attracted to you, and people are going to be attracted to you who are into having negative food sources. So, if someone likes to threaten people all the time and make them feel afraid, that's going to make them feel good, and they're going to go around and find people that are easier to threaten. Okay, they're not going to prey on someone who's really positive or really strong. They're going to find people who are easy to threaten, so they can compromise that person and feed off their energy. You know, so that's generally people who are aggressive. All right, that's how it works. They don't think about it like that, but that's what's going on at an energetic level. And that's, if you get into the first workshop, we talk about that transfer of light, okay, between people, and how that's been verified by Russian science. So, the construct of demon entities is like this. If you are not a food source, these things are not interested in you. You never need to protect yourself from anything which is negative. Negative people, negative energies, negative entities, negative demons. Now, if you're not a food source, that means that you are like a guitar that's like humming in a particular way. And if you're humming in love and light and openness, nothing's going to be interested in you that's interested in feeding off negativity from a person. You don't need to protect yourself from anything. You need to work on yourself and be positive. Once you are positive and open and loving, these things won't come near you, and these sorts of people won't come near you because you're not a food source. They cannot harmonically feed off you. Wow. Just like the death metal, just like the South African breakdancing, whatever you're into, whatever your transmission is, if your transmission is love and light and consent, something that's in subtle games of entrapment and guilt and fear and anger and, you know, like sexual guilt and all these sorts of negative things, it's going to be attracted to you. Alright, so for people who are in that realm of thinking about demonic forces, thinking about entities and feeling negative emotions and feeling fear, these things want you to feel fear. Right? If you feel love and light, they're not interested, not interested, not interested, not interested. Now, once you're in a reality of love and light, these things aren't interested in you, don't come near you, don't want to interact with you, and are frankly afraid of you, and don't want you to spread your love and light around because then they're going to have less food source. Once you move into a level of love and light, you change your density on the planet, and you help change the density of people around you. And once you're on that density of love and light, the construct of demons and entities doesn't exist. It becomes a construct that is affecting people who are in a lower density of reality. Okay? So now you can be aware that that's a construct and that might be affecting some people. Like we said before, people have demon and entity experiences. I don't know whether they're real or not, but I've had the experiences and I know other people who've had the experiences. However, when we move into a reality where we're not a food source, that whole reality doesn't exist for us anymore. And when we don't think about it, we don't talk about it, we don't dwell on it, because often when you think about these things or talk about these things, you can create fear. And that's what they want. Alright, and that's what other people want too. They want to kind of have people who are compromised. Again, this information is really like, for some people, really airy-fairy because, you know, you can't back it up with science. You can back it up with the scientific method by asking people what they've experienced. But again, we know people have these experiences. So, it's an amazing thing. The more you are loving and open, this is not a part of your reality at all. Okay? And it's a very, very special thing because often people are thinking like, how can I protect myself? How can I protect myself? I need to be safe. And it's a fear-orientated approach to solving an issue. Once you remove the fear, you're in a higher density of existence. And then it doesn't exist. It's great. So that's my take on that, and that can be really useful for people. And it has definitely worked for me.